Shout out Bruce Gas, aka Toka 2. You know I had to drop a track for my boy.
Hey, where you at?
Yeah, I've been here harassing boys out here telling favors. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, Bruce Gas putting no fights on the table. Calling that Boston since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fatal. I'm the people's champion like Muhammad Ali. Shout out Bruce Gas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Toka 2. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the peak. Little Glock on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shout out Mad Chad, real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the panel. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sandwich. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like Bruce Gas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this the fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed, yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.
Bruce Gas over here with you, man. Boxing, jazz, and more. Christopher Irish Boxing and Adventure. Thank you, bro. First guy in here, man. You were here like 5 hours ago. Shout out to you, Christopher. Let me order you, bro. Salute. My brother, Mr. Gumbo, Hot Grease, man. Shout out to you, bro. All these crazy boxing going on today, man. 45 years ago was one of the greatest cards ever seen in boxing history. Live on ABC TV. Season G, bro. Salute, man. I don't know if it was the day after Thanksgiving or if it was the week after Thanksgiving. There's my brother Chris. But it was an incredible card, man. And I'll get into that. But I'm gonna get myself right for this show first of all. As you know, man, plenty of water always. My brother, man, El Harvey, good to see you, bro. Saturday night and there's no freaking live boxing on. So what are we gonna do? First of all, have me a crystal clean, looking brand new Toka 2. I got a little bit of bud here, a little bit. What we do is we take this jewel here, we pull off a little nug there. Oh yeah. Let me show you what that looks like after I put Mama Son away here. Right now we're digging to the Dwayne Eubanks Quintet. They're playing live right now at Smalls Jazz Club in Greenwich Village, New York City. We got Dwayne Eubanks on trumpet. Oh shit, Mr. Gumbo, man. Thank you so much, brother. Damn, Gumbo, man. Appreciate you, bro. Much gratitude, bro. Thank you so much. But we're listening to the Dave Eubanks Quintet. They're playing live right now at Smalls Jazz Club, and that's Dwayne Eubanks on the trumpet, Abraham Burton on tenor sax, Jordan Williamson on piano, Elam Feedlocker on bass, and Donald Edwards on drums, man. They're supplying us with some incredible background music. And man, speaking of something incredible, this bud, man, my G gave me this the other day. Let me just show you what this. See if we can get that baby focused in there. Let me hit my automatic focus on here, see if I can get that in any better. Let's see if it does it or not. I can't get that sucker to focus in, man. Maybe it's my eyeballs. But anyway, that's a beautiful little bud that I'm going to smash up here. Tons of orange in there, as you can see. Susanna, my sister, always a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure to see you. I'm going to put that in the grinder. Smash that bad boy right up. Yes, he's a G. That's a holiday bud right there, bro. Grind that up. I got to get a elongated camera here so you can see what I'm doing with my hands. Maybe that's not a good idea either, you know. But crunch that up nicely. Unscrew that cap on there. And we got a nice little plate of herb roots to work with over here. Here we got a little fluff and stuff on the tray. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to fortify that with some crumble to make it really special. First, I got to put this grinder away. Somebody gave me this grinder a couple of years ago. They quit smoking. They gave me the grinder, the scale, a bunch of weed. And 6 months later, the guy starts smoking again. I said, "You want this stuff back?" Nah, I already bought new stuff. You know it, Christopher. I'm hooked on this crumble, bro. Let's see. Shall we put some platinum blonde crumble in there? And I've showed you this crumble many, many times. Hey, that's a beautiful little cannabis product. Highly concentrated form of THC. And they call it crumble because you can actually crumble it between your fingertips over here. Just a little in there. I made some killer edibles today too. Me and the old lady, we're edible addicts now. We probably made about 50 or 60 edibles today. Watermelon flavor, infused with a ton of cannabis. The little ones are 10 milligrams. The ones that are the size of a little tiny gummy bear, they're 10 milligrams. The big ones are probably 80. I haven't really put them on the scale and weighed them yet, but the bigger they are, the stronger, the progressively the juice is in the plant, in the edible. And what I do is, I told you before, I make the Fetco, there we are, man. That'll get us through. That'll get us through this fine day. And I don't know if any of you cats remember. Probably not, because most of you weren't even born. But on this day in 1979, there was an amazing fight card held by ABC TV. Howard Cosell was doing the broadcast. This was free TV. The 3 fights that they had on the card, and dig this, I mean, you guys have all heard of these fights, but on one card on the same night on free TV, the card opened. L-Dub, my brother, salute to you, man. Money Mitch, hey, Money Mitch, salute to you, brother. Peace, bro. Thanks for coming in, man. Please sub to the channel. On this night, man, there were 3 fights on this card. The first one was Victor Galindez and Marvin Johnson. And these two were 2 of the greatest light heavyweights in the 70s. Marvin Johnson ended up being a 3-time light heavyweight champ. Never made a successful defense, but he this was his second attempt at a light heavyweight crown. And Marvin Johnson, he'd been in some classic wars with Matthew Saad Muhammad. I mean, this guy, he's from Indianapolis, Indiana, a prison guard, as tough as they come. Thank you, Money Mitch. Appreciate that, bro. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, man, but keep coming here. I'll give you a wrench. I give you a wrench whenever I can, bro. I like to give my people in here wrenches because there ain't anything else I can give you besides a good show. But thanks much for coming in, man. Please come back again. And please enjoy this show here today, because I'm going in the Wayback Machine right now, man. Like I said earlier, I remember this night so clear. 1979, I believe I was 24 years old. Not even in my prime yet. And you know, we baby these fighters today. We say that they still need more seasoning. They still need they still need to fight more contenders. But they don't even fight contenders. You know, they fight fights that are almost predetermined before they even get in the ring. And back in the glorious 70s, when a fighter was given a title opportunity and he thought he was ready for it, it didn't matter how old he was, because the first fight on this card was the Galindez and the Johnson fight. The second card was the famous draw of the first fight between Marvin Hagler and Vito Antuorermo, and everybody, man, Antuorermo shouldn't have won that, shouldn't have had a draw. He retained his title. But it was an amazing card. And the main event, you want to talk about overachievers? Wilfred Benitez, 17 years old, he was a world champ. This was his second division. He already was a junior welterweight champ. Now he was a welterweight champ. I think he was maybe 20, 21. And he's taking on Sugar Ray Leonard, who's only in his early 20s himself. I mean, this is when fighters said, hey, we are fighters. Gold Eye, salute my brother. Always a pleasure to see you in here, bro. Let me hit this one more time. I want to get back to that first fight, because this first fight was a great fight, man. Victor Galindez was one of your diehard faces at light heavyweight in the 70s. Victor Galindez made 10 successful title defenses. He was always on CBS, ABC, NBC, Saturday afternoon. You got to know this cat. He was from Argentina, tough. He had Carlos Monzon was at ringside for this fight, and Galindez, man, Galindez was a monster in that ring. He was like I said earlier, he was as tough as they come. And this was his next to the last fight. I went to a house party. My friend the Drew, we lived downtown Warren, and he had a party. You know, a bunch of people there. And as soon as I got in, some girl says, "Oh, the Hagler fight's not coming on yet, man. Let's watch something else." So she changes the fucking channel. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And my buddy says, Chief, they just call me Chief. He says, go in the kitchen. Use the TV in the kitchen. And he had like a little 20-inch in the kitchen. So I went in there. I got it tuned in, and I'm watching the beginning. Cause this is prime time Wide World of Sports. No bullshit. No downtime. We didn't have to wait a half hour between bouts. They gave you a good background of the fighters. I mean, a good background where you learned. You know, you were educated. And then the fight came on, and I'm in the kitchen by myself, and you know, within 5 minutes, I get half the freaking party is in the kitchen watching the fight with me. And finally, I hear, "All right, you can watch it on this TV." They all go to that TV. I stayed in the kitchen, and what a great fight it was, man. Let me see if I can pull this one up, because my good friend Vantage Boxing, he allows me to show these fights, so we can see if I can find it. First of all, I think I have it. We will put it up on the stage. Here we go, man. WBA Light Heavyweight Championship, Wide World of Sports.
Marvin Johnson, former WBC.
That's why I get in trouble with that. But like I was saying earlier, Marvin Johnson, already a former champion. Victor Galindez, man, he was a namesake in the division. He had made 10 title defenses. He fought a guy named Mike Rossman, tough kid. Tim Witherspoon and I, we talk about Mike Rossman all the time. He was from Philadelphia. He trained in the same gym as Tim did, and he got lucky in this. In fact, it's the same ring, man, the Houston Astrodome. This ring is bad luck for Victor Galindez. Victor Galindez lost his title to Mike Rossman. He came back and he defeated Rossman. Rossman quit on his stool in the rematch, broke his hand, supposedly. But anyway, this is his second reign. He's taking on the tough I mean, and this Marvin Johnson, he's in the era where you just had monsters at that 175-pound weight. He had 2 wars with Matthew Saad Muhammad. He fought Matty Parloff. He fought fighters like the Davis brothers, Eddie Davis and Jimmy Davis, Tom Bethea. I mean, he was a warrior. Hey, the Boz, bro. Salute to you, man. That's all right, Boz. I know it's freaking 5 o'clock in the morning or something over there. I understand, brother. I'm going down memory lane here, man. I'm going back to this amazing fight card. And this was the first fight of the card. Look at Marvin Johnson. Marvin Johnson's a southpaw. He's shooting the right jab. He's throwing left-hand bombs. And Galindez is a mauler and brawler. A stereotypical Argentine boxer. Not like Monzon. Monzon used the jab. Monzon had more of a boxer style where Galindez liked to swarm his opponents. And you can see he's in the twilight of his career. He's getting old. He had 10 successful title defenses, regained the title. He's on his second reign. He's on this amazing card 45 years ago tonight, taking on Marvin Johnson, a former title holder. I mean, and this wasn't even the co-main event. This was just a fight on the card. This fight today would be a main event in itself. This is just an incredible show of guts by ABC TV, putting these amazing fights on. Free TV. Look at the infighting by Marvin Johnson, man. The uppercuts, the overhand rights, just the overhand lefts, the right hooks. I mean, just a straight ahead, in your face fighter. As tough as they come, he's definitely out of that mold. And look at the shoulders on the guy. Looks like he was just cut out of a mold to be a boxer. He passed away not too long ago. They have a street dedicated in his name in Indiana. A little bit of see, these are all on VCR. VCR was our best friend back in the day. And Galindez, very, very emotional. You know, he's trying those wide arc punches. And Johnson, I think he's about 25 years old here. He looks like he's already, boy, he's bald on top. He's got the prematuring, the big head, the mo head. Show a movie on that. I mean, this dude doesn't know about the 5-blade, the head trimmer, what do they call it? The Freebird shaver. But this was the 70s, man. You know, we had to have the afro, like a halfro, I guess you would call that one. But he is working his way into Victor Galindez. Galindez is on the back foot. But see, Galindez, big wide right hand, boom, off Johnson's forehead. But Marvin Johnson, he just was not going to be denied. In this fight, they went back and forth. Well, I think this is only like the first round, man. We just pretty much got this bad boy going. But yeah, we'll move it up a little bit as they were moving on. Yep, he definitely he looks much older. That premature baldness, that'll get you. Believe me, I wear mine proudly, but it's cold in my house right now. In the winter, I keep the hat on. All the heat escapes through the head. But the first time I saw Marvin Johnson was when he fought Matthew Saad Muhammad. And man, it was a knockdown, drag-out ball. It was for the NABF Light Heavyweight Championship. Johnson got stopped. Johnson got beat. He came back. It's not like the fight is today. An L is not the end of the world. You know, these guys would get in line to fight each other. Victor Galindez had 3 losses on his record. I forget what Johnson was when he fought him in this fight. Let me see here. I can look. Let's see. Galindez was 55 wins, 7 losses, and 4 defeats when he fought Marvin Johnson on this card. And Marvin Johnson was 23 wins and 3 defeats. So, I mean, L's meant nothing for these cats. The backwards afro, there you go. I think that's Vladimir Schmidt. Who's the referee there, man? Jesus Salas. The referee also scored the fight. Hey, my brother Romeo, there he is. Hey, Romeo, I watched this fight up in Drew's apartment, bro, on Child Street. Jimmy Lewis had it at the keg across the street, too. It was on every bar in town, man. You didn't have to have pay-per-view or cable or anything. And shout out to my brother Romeo Lombardi over there on Facebook. Electro Jet, how you doing, my man? You remember this fight, too, Electro Jet? You're an old man like me, bro. 1979. That was a great year, too, man. I had a blast in 1979. Although I was doing a lot of pain pills and I can't remember. I think I quit coke. I didn't do any coke then, but I was still a mess. I was in the bar every night. So it was a tough way to get through life, but I survived it. And here we are. We're at the Houston Astrodome on this day in 1979. We got 3 fights ahead of us here. I don't know if I'm going to show all 3, but anyway, we're getting down in this fight. You can see Galindez is looking worn down. He's backing off. Johnson is banging him. Johnson's shooting that right jab in his face. And watch that overhand left. Boom, boom. Oh, Johnson's hitting him heavy now, man. Galindez holding on. Galindez is getting staggered finally, but I mean, there hasn't been any clutching in this fight at all. This has been Johnson, big left hand. Galindez goes downstairs to the body. Yeah, they're exchanging bombs right now. Anything is liable to happen. Couple of jabs, the straight right jab by Johnson, the uppercut. There you go, bro. We all have great memories like that, Christopher. But, Marvin Johnson is on target right now. Big, straight left hand right on Galindez's jaw. Galindez, though, tough as they come. Put his head down. I mean, he's backing off, but he's not going to give up. And this fight just had an amazing ending, too. So keep your eyes open. It's not that far away. There's my brother Umar. Salute, Marvin. How we doing, bro? Marvin, 1979, November 30th. What a fucking night, huh, bro? And this was the first fight they shown on TV. I know there were a couple of undercard fights. I was reading the poster. Willie Birdlegs Jensen fought on the card against Rudy Robles. I mean, there were some classic fighters from the era, but I mean, this card on a Friday night, free on ABC's Wide World of Sports, right around this time. It's almost like I'm kicking back 45 years and digging this. The round is over. Pay attention. I believe the next round is the climactic ending round in here. The final round. Marvin Johnson, he's got his brother, Sarge Tom Johnson, in his corner. A great trainer, fighter. He passed away. He died in a plane crash in 1980. The Olympic team went down in Poland. I don't know if you remember that. But that was the brother of Marvin Johnson, Tom Johnson. Talk about a fighting pedigree family, man. And here we are, man. This is the what is this? I don't even know what round it is, man. But I know this is pretty much towards the fateful end. Yes, Marvin Hagler was the co-main event on this fight, Chris. Marvin Hagler and Vito Antuorermo, one of the most controversial fights in boxing history. Matthew Saad Muhammad at ringside. Look at him, man. Woo. The WBC light heavyweight champion. This is the, by the way, this is the day, the day of the two belt era. There was no IBF, there was no WBO. It was the WBA and the WBC. But don't take your eye off the screen and hear me. I don't know how. That's not my doing. That's a technical issue with. I'm gonna yell at Advantage Boxing tomorrow. But anyway, pay attention. The end is right around the corner here. Watch the left hand of Marvin Johnson. Oh! Marvin is putting the work in right now. Trying for that left uppercut. That would be the killer. But Galindez is covering up. Galindez's face is a mess. Oh yeah, they're ripping this man. I made gummies today. I must have about 250 milligrams of cannabis gummy in me right now. I've been making them like crazy the last couple of days. Oh, they are slugging it. But Johnson is the aggressor right now. Galindez, he's covering up. He's hanging in there. He's trying to throw shots, but he's he's been beaten up. Johnson is fresher right now. He's beating him to the punch every time. Oh, just shooting that straight left hand, that southpaw stance. And he was one of the early left-handed light heavyweight champions. Oh. Really putting those heavy hands on Victor Galindez right now. I guess he does survive this round. Oh, maybe not. Damn. Oh, like a heavy bag at the end of that round. Amazing stuff. Let me take a quick look at my other screen here. Make sure I'm on. Like a heavy bag. They're showing up. Hang on a second here. There we go. Okay. Now I know we're coming up to the faithful. The last round of this fight, I can't remember if it was the 8th round, the 9th round. Carlos Monzon at ringside to his boy Victor Galindez. And this was even sad too. This was sad in different ways. But round number 11. Watch the overhand left. Oh, right there. Oh, bang. His corner immediately jumps in the ring. Galindez is crying. You know, Galindez is so emotional. He doesn't want the fight to be stopped, but he has no control. I mean, he just got short-circuited. Marvin Johnson, once again, a light heavyweight champ. great action. And like I said earlier, man, that was the first fight of this card. That was the warm-up fight. And I told you I was watching this in the kitchen over at the Drew's apartment. But after that, the next fight on the card, Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler, Vito Antuorermo. Vito Antuorermo had won the middleweight championship, defeating Hugo Coro. Trying to fix my screen here. Not that. Shut that one off. Yeah, there we go. Don't need that. Shut that other fight off. Okay. Marvin Johnson, Marvin Hagler and Vito Antuorermo, the next fight on this card. Vito Antuorermo defeated Hugo Coro, another tough Argentinian, for the middleweight title. And Vito, his handler said, "Stay away from Hagler, stay away from Hagler." And it took an act of Congress, man. It took a petition by Ted Kennedy and the Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill, and they threatened to get to the insides of boxing, to open the books up, to bring all the crooked promoters. And boxing got scared. They said, "Shit, man, we better make this fight." Vito wanted to defend his title a few times, make some money, because see, there was one middleweight champion. There was an undisputed middleweight champion of the world, and that was Carlos Monzon, retired. The title was splintered. Rodrigo Valdez, Hugo Coro. Man, there were a couple other ones in there, man. But when it came right down to it, it was Vito Antuorermo was standing with the middleweight championship, and Marvin Hagler was the all consensus top contender. And he was being avoided for years. Nobody wanted to fight Hagler. He was too good, man. He was a southpaw. I got to give Vito credit, man. Vito said, "I'll fight you, bro. I'll do it." And it was a draw. It was a 15-round. There's my brother Steven Donatello out there, man. Thank you, Butch, for coming by, man. Shout out to my people watching me over on Facebook and on YouTube. But you got to give Vito credit. Vito said, "Yeah, I'm gonna take him on." And Hagler, everybody thought Hagler was gonna just go in there and destroy Vito Antuorermo. They thought it was gonna just be a coronation. But Vito was tough. This was Vito's greatest stand. He hung in there. He hung in the pocket. He exchanged phone booth war with Marvin Hagler from beginning to end. Hagler had the edge, I believe. 99% of the country, of the world, thought that Hagler had the edge. But at the end, it came down to a draw. And Vito Antuorermo retained his title. Steven Donatelli, Vito was an underrated middleweight. Definitely was. He was as tough as they come, but in that era, nobody was going to deny Marvin Hagler. This was supposed to be Marvin's coronation. It didn't quite happen that way. Hagler went. He went up to Maine and he took on Bobby Watts, knocked him out. He took on a Frenchman. Who's his name? Lucif. Was it Lucif Hanaman or something like that? But he knocked him out too. In the meantime, Vito took on Alan Minter and lost his title to Alan Minter. Steven Donatelli, and Steven's a historian. I watch him a lot on Facebook. If anybody is a Facebooker on here, man, Steven, you should have a YouTube channel here because you got a lot of hardcores on YouTube. But anyway, Steven said he was tougher than a few dollars steak. Okay, man, a $2 steak, just like Marciano. Rocky Marciano's another one. But Vito was fortunate enough to be in the media era, so everybody knew who Vito was. Vito ended up doing slots on The Sopranos. He was well known in Atlantic City. Tough kid, tough as they come out of New York. But anyway, on this night, he held the great Marvin Hagler to a draw, and nobody saw that one coming. That was probably the biggest payday in Vegas or anywhere else for that matter, man. Nobody saw that one coming. Vito, he didn't bleed like he normally does. Vito's the kind of a guy where they play the national anthem and they're already putting a freaking end swell over his eyes. But on this night, Vito held together, and at the end, and Vito said he had bronchitis and a cold, and I mean every fighter says. None of these fighters back in the day, if you had something wrong with you, you came in that ring. Today, you got a hangnail. The fight's being postponed. Zepeda's and Shakur. You think Zepeda's got a hand injury right now? You think that's legit or what? I don't know, man. Boxing today is lame compared to what it was back then. And on this night, the second fight of the card, man, it was fantastic. It was just it was the main event right there. But yet they knew this was prime time, wide world of sports. You saw maybe 2 or 3 of them in a year, or maybe 4. But it wasn't a regular thing. It wasn't. This wasn't like the internet. This wasn't like the Zone or ESPN or anything like that. This was a special event. Today, this would have been pay-per-view, no doubt about it. But back then, this was free over the air. Every bar had it. You didn't have to call up and say you're watching a fight. Nah, it was on. It was. Every bar in town had this fight on. This was before cable. This was before the big screen. But you had good big color TV screens, so you definitely got to. If you went to a bar, which was my second thing. If this party had sucked, if the fight wasn't coming in, there was a bar right across the street. My friend owned it. I was gonna bop right on over there, but I didn't anyway, man. The main event. They talk about fighters that are too young today. Don't rush them. The main event of this card was Wilfred Benitez and Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm going to have to bring up notes because I can't remember the exact ages and stuff. Okay, let me go into the notes here to see the ages of these two. There we go. Okay. The weights, they had no problem making them at all. Going into into Wikipedia, Benitez was 144 pounds. Sugar Ray Leonard was 146 pounds. This was Sugar Ray's first attempt at a world title. Let me see how old he was. I'm not even going to mess around. I'm just going to ask artificial intelligence. Kazi, my brother, salute, man. How old was Sugar Ray Leonard when he won his first title?
Here's what I found.
Here's what you found. You're supposed to tell us. But then, see, they never answer my fucking question anymore. They used to, but now they're messing it around. Age of 20. Okay, Leonard was 20 years old. Sugar Ray Leonard was 20 years old, and Wilfred Benitez was 19. Already a world champion. Unbelievable. Sugar Ray was the number 2 WBC contender. Roberto Duran being either Roberto Duran or Carlos Palomino being the number 1 contender. Leonard was a 3-1 favorite. Benitez made $1.2 million and Sugar Ray Leonard made only $1 million. You think today a fighter who came out of the Olympics, Olympic darling, you think they'd settle for the B-side? I mean, he was not the B. I already learned B-side when I came over here, man. Yep, Benitez, the youngest world champion in all of boxing, 17 years old. It's a record that still stands. It's just it's hard to believe. And this kid is in there taking on Sugar Ray Leonard, and even in the stare off, Benitez tried to be cool. Benitez was looking down on him, trying to make himself a little taller, a little bigger. Sugar Ray Leonard was, you could tell Leonard was nervous. Mateo, salute, bro. I don't know who you are, Mateo, but I know you know your boxing, bro. And tonight is a night of 1979, probably about 25 years before you were born. But it was a great fight, and I'm getting my memory cranking on over here. Stephen Donatelli is a historian out there, and I don't know if you can see his stuff on the screen, but they used to call him El Radar because he was a defensive wizard. They used to call him the Bible of boxing, the same they call the Ring magazine. Wilfred Benitez was just an amazing, he was undefeated. He had one draw on his record, but both of these guys are undefeated. They're going into this fight for the WBC welterweight title. Benitez had beaten Carlos Palomino, a long-time champion. Palomino was such a big name in boxing that he was doing commercials. He was doing light beer commercials. That's big. When you do a commercial, that's what athletes strive to do. When you did a commercial, you made it. Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard did a 7-Up commercial. But Wilfred Benitez beat another legend in Carlos Palomino, and here he is, man. I think he made several defenses of the title. I think he fought Clyde Gray. He had some amazing fights in his career. But anyway, here he is in his first $1 million payday. And unfortunately, he's got his father, Gregorio. Right now we talk about fathers and sons in boxing. This is one of the first fathers and sons that I knew about. And Gregorio was a notorious gambler. And Wilfred Benitez was a wild child. He was just so naturally gifted that the readings that I've done where they would pull him out of the crack house the night before the fight. That's how crazy he was. But that's what an 18, 19-year-old kid can get away with. And his father was a notorious gambler. He'd have his purses already bet before the fight was over. So there was a lot of friction there. And Benitez, he died. He's alive now. He's in such bad shape. I heard things about stem cells being done, but I don't know what's going on. But the last time I saw him, he couldn't talk or he couldn't walk. He was living on a Social Security SSI check, $50 a week, so a $200 a month check, being taken care of by his mother. Oh man, just sad story. But this was Benitez's biggest night in the limelight. And the fight was, Leonard was like a mirror of each other. When Leonard would throw, Benitez would counter, and Leonard was so frustrated. Leonard would occasionally land a power shot, and he did knock Benitez down a couple of times. There was a headbutt towards the end of the fight, and but Benitez lost his title. He was stopped in the 15th round. The referee stopped the fight. I don't know if it was Isn't that amazing, Mateo? That's boxing today. There's my man Lou Tucciarelli out there, bro. Turch, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, bro. That's Buffalo, New York's finest out there. My man, he's always right, or you better agree with him, or else he's gonna fucking slap the shit out of you. Shout out to my man Lou Tucciarelli out there, his beautiful wife and kids, man. He was on the show before too, man. The Turch is my man. And I'm sure the Turch saw this fight too, man. Sugar Ray Leonard and Wilfred Benitez. Sugar Ray Leonard was climbing the ladder. Benitez pretty much was peaking here. But see, this was the funny thing. Leonard won the title and went on to do great things, as we know. But Benitez, after this fight, he moved up to junior middleweight, and he had one of the most sensational knockouts in the world, man. one of the most sensational knockouts in the world. He knocked out Maurice Hope for the WBC junior middleweight title. And I think he was 23 years old. He was a 22 or 23. He was a 3-division champion when it really meant something. And then Wilfred Benitez was just amazing. I mean, the man had radar, and it was all natural. He didn't train. He didn't do the thing there. He didn't put the work in because he didn't have to. You know, towards the end of his career, he was really just he was just a very he had a real kickback personality. You watch some of his early fights, and it's just a thing of beauty. Just a thing of beauty. You couldn't hit this kid, like they would say, with a handful of rock salt. He was all over the ring, and yet nobody ever accused him of being a boring fight. You know how they accuse Shakur today? He's boring. Because Benitez would go and you got him in the trenches, and he'd stand there and go toe to toe with you. And you know, he won the junior middleweight title. The last time I saw him, I was on me and my ex-wife were up in New Hampshire at a cabin, doing some, I don't know what the fuck we were doing, but anyway, he took on Davey Moore, and it was a comeback fight for both of them, kind of. It was a comeback for Moore after the Duran fight, and it was a comeback for Benitez. And Benitez broke his ankle in the ring, and the fight had to be stopped, and it was like so anticlimactic. I felt so bad for Benitez, and you know, he just never. By 27 years old, he was done. He was cooked, retired over the hill. He still fought on. He fought on long after he shouldn't have, and he paid for it too. He took a lot of shots to the head after the defense didn't work anymore. You know, the first thing to go were those reflexes, and Benitez relied on him, and you know, sadly, he ended up in the state that he's in now. But on the other hand, Sugar Ray Leonard's career was just blossoming after this. You know, he defended his title against the legendary Roberto Duran, and you know, he lost it. He went toe to toe. He fought a stupid fight. He came back again. He fought a smart fight. Made Duran say no mas, something nobody ever did. But you know, all these great fighters, they're all so intertwined. And on this night, man, you had one of the most exciting light heavyweight fights I've ever seen. You saw Marvin Johnson winning the title. You had the great Marvin Hagler and Antuorermo. Yeah, Rick Glazer's a cool dude. He's been on a couple of times. He's been on here, man. Rick's a no nonsense boxing behind the scenes man. He's always got the numbers on those pay-per-views. I believe Glazer. You know, I hear other people give numbers, but you know, Glazer seems to have the right numbers, and he's loved, he's hated. But anyway, let me get back into my train of thought on this great night, so I can come back to the future. You got any snow up there, Church? Buffalo's noted for the hellacious winters. It doesn't snow around here anymore, man. Nicolino Loach was another one, just so naturally talented. I didn't get to see much of his career. I saw a couple of his fights, his ladder fights in the early 70s. And he looked like a grandfather. He looked like your grandfather at the family picnic. But another great Argentine fighter, man. Another defensive wizard. But this was one of the things that ABC Sports used to do for us. You don't see it happening at all today. A great card like this with actually didn't have any build-up for it. It was just announced that it was going to happen, and it happened. You know, we've gotten Anderson Ortiz, the fight that I wanted to see since I got on YouTube. And I've been telling people, This is the collision. This is gonna be a fantastic fight. Both of these guys are gonna be undefeated. They're gonna meet. I thought at 147, but at 154, and then not even the main event. They're undercarding this huge heavyweight extravaganza, and February 22nd. I'm like, all right, and now we hear that the Anderson Ortiz fight is off. So I don't know what's going on there, man. Ridiculous. You know, the Tank Davis situation with Roach. I don't care about that fight. That's a bullshit fight to me. That's a fighter of Tank Davis's stature should be if he's fighting once a year or twice a year, meaningful fights. Lamont Roach, I never even knew who he was until I saw him as Tank's opponent. So, boxing is in a crazy state today, man. Teofimo and Ryan Garcia, we'd love to see that fight. Who knows if it's gonna happen, man? Ryan Garcia was going to have that exhibition in Japan. He didn't honor his contract with Oscar, so Oscar said the fight's not going to happen. I can see it not happening, man. You know, you're signed with these promoters, and that's the problem. What I would like to see is I'd like to see Turki Al-Sheikh come in, buy these promoters right out, and really pay these fighters a whole new system of boxing, a whole new way to do it. You pay the fighters. You pay them when they fight. You pay them good. This guy's got unbelievable pockets. No, Boots and Ortiz is as we anticipated it on the 22nd is not going to happen. And I've heard all these crazy reasons why, because Boots said that he had an unwritten agreement with Ortiz that they were going to fight at 147. Ortiz has done 154 for a year now, and you're saying that you had a tough time making 147. That's why you said it's such a shitty job with Karen last time. So I mean, these guys, I don't know what's going on with boxing. That's why, man, when I saw the on this day today, 1979, it wasn't hard for me to remember that night. 3 amazing fights, undisputed middleweight championship of the world, WBC welterweight championship of the world, 2 undefeated fighters, and then to me the best fight of the night was the light heavyweight, Marvin Johnson and Victor Galindez. And Victor Galindez, after that fight, after he lost his title, he fought again. He fought Jesse Burnett, and it was on CBS Sports, and they were like hugging each other between rounds. It was really weird, and Galindez lost a decision, but it was his final fight. He was almost saying goodbye to boxing. He was hugging Burnett. He was hugging. It was like a love fest, and Victor Galindez, he wanted to be a race car driver. That's what he wanted to be after boxing. He wanted to drive race cars. He was. His first attempt at race car driving, he was the co-driver. I don't know what that is. I never saw 2 drivers in a race car. But anyway, in his first race, the car broke down, and him and his partner got out of it, and some car went out of control, killed them both on the track. So he died a tragic death. People say boxing is dangerous. Fucking race car driving, a little more dangerous. But that was the career of Galindez with Marvin Johnson. He lost that title in his very next defense too. He lost it against Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, another fight that was on live ABC's Wide World of Sports. It was on the undercard of John Tate and Mike Weaver. So I mean, these fights were given to us on a silver platter. I mean, filet mignon. Now they're throwing us bologna sandwiches, and people are saying, yeah, I'll take another one. You know, fucking boxing today and boxing then, it's like night and day. I cannot wait to the Fury Usyk fight. That's something that I'm extremely looking forward to. You know, I think Usyk is going to win, but the last fight, if Fury was 5 years younger and had stuck to the plan that he beat, use a combination of the two fights that he destroyed Deontay Wilder. The first one that he boxed his ears off, and the second one where he beat him up. If he used those two strategies, I think he could beat Usyk. But Father Time is not going to let him do it. Usyk is still, even though Usyk is 40, almost 40, he's still got that energy in him, and I think he's going to come out there and maybe even stop Tyson Fury in the rematch. But it's going to be I can't wait for that fight. It's a couple of days before Christmas. That's an early Christmas present right there. And all I can say about this night is, man, this was the night where youth prevailed. A 25-year-old light heavyweight champ, a 20-year-old welterweight champ, and Marvin Hagler. What was Hagler? 27? But Hagler kept on. He didn't let it disturb him at all. But anyway, man, thank you much for hanging in here. All you cats over on Facebook and all you cats on YouTube, man. Just going back in time a little bit to talk about what happens in the glorious world of boxing. And if you don't remember it, I'm your plug over here. I'll help you remember it. Head rush on that one. Head rush on that one. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. I'm going. Peace.